What is going on, everybody? If you're new around here, my name is Finn Badgley. I'm a commercial fashion and portrait photographer, and today I'm taking you behind the scenes of a shoot I did with my good friend and model Maddie. Now, you'll see a bunch of the behind the scenes content here. Now, for this photo shoot, the location was at a beach that then led into a bit of a kind of forested area. The theme that we were going for with this was as if somebody was kind of like trapped in the forest kind of vibe, and then they kind of came out, and as they did, there was like a freeing of the self that was kind of present there. You can see in the photos that we wanted a kind of harsh, dramatic look, and that is why for a lot of these photos I used one light just with a standard 7-inch reflector on it to give kind of a more isolated and harsh light. Now, I know a lot of us photographers are very large fans of soft light, myself included, but there is a space for hard light, and this shoot was exactly that. You can also see here that Maddie's hair worked very well for this kind of vibe, how it was very dramatic. With this shoot as well, the wardrobe was completely monochromatic, so a lot of different tones of black and white, a little bit of gray mixed here and there in as well. Now, for a lot of these poses, we went very kind of dramatic, very angular sort of posing here to kind of complement that dramatic style, and I think it translated very well. Maddie absolutely killed it, and her links, as always, will be down in the description below. Definitely check her out because she did an amazing job in this. Now, quick disclaimer, this is during the pandemic, and as such I am wearing a mask, as you can see in all of the behind the scenes content here, and whenever Maddie wasn't in front of the camera, she was as well, and obviously using appropriate social distancing and precautions in line with that. Additionally, for myself, since all of this has happened, I've been having to use a little bit of smaller crews, sometimes even just going on a shoot solo like this. A lot of times I do like to have an assistant with me, but sometimes that isn't always feasible, especially when we're looking at wanting to keep crew sizes small. So it depends on the shoot, on the crew, and just the overall vibe of everything in terms of keeping safety front of mind. Now, with all that said, this was a great shoot, and Maddie absolutely killed it. Some of these images I will be posting on my Instagram, so feel free to check it out there, instagram.com/Finn_Badgley. That link will also be in the description down below, like always. Now, you can see the wardrobe, we kind of changed it up here and there, and always when shooting, especially these kind of fashion, editorial, test shoots like this, you want to make sure the model is absolutely comfortable at all times. And Maddie and I have known each other and worked together for many years, but even so, no matter what model you are working with, you always want to make sure that they are comfortable first and foremost. If there's anything that you suggest they do that they're not comfortable with, clue into that or just ask them up front, and if they're not comfortable with it, then that is the end of story and they do not do it. Simple as that. I'm not here to make anybody do anything they're not comfortable with. Additionally, I'm not comfortable getting anybody to do anything that I myself wouldn't do, but that's just a personal rule of mine. These are kind of things that I like to live by. The same goes for if you want to like adjust the model's hair, anything like that. Always make sure to ask before you touch the model or anything like that. And like I said, if they are not comfortable with it, it does not happen. End of story. Now, that out of the way, I think Maddie did an absolutely great job. As you can see here, from the photos towards the last set as we're moving kind of out of the forest, more onto the beach, onto the edge of the tree line, further out onto the beach, and then into the water. You can see for some of these shots, I myself did go in the water, and it is very cold. Now, granted, I didn't think this would be the kind of shot where I'd want the model all the way in the water, and she suggested as well, so we got a couple shots like that just in case, because you always would rather take the shot and not use it, rather than not take the shot and have wished you did. Now, personally, I like the kind of shoreline images more, but I think they all work very well. It is always a pleasure to have such great people to work with that always ends up making the images come out a lot better when everybody is on the same page, everybody is working towards the same vision. It always translates a lot better to the viewer. And a lot of the way that I kind of directed Maddie here was by kind of suggesting a theme and an emotion and an action kind of around with that, rather than a put your arm here, move this that way, move that this way. Maybe if there was some adjustments I wanted, if she was doing a pose that was almost what I wanted, and then just maybe move the head one way or the other, that kind of thing. But generally, I always like to pose my models with an action, an emotion, and kind of the overall vibe that is trying to be put out there, so that way it becomes more acting rather than trying to position a robot into a specific way that you want them. It comes across more natural, comes across more fluid, and it just looks a lot better in the long run. I myself have a decent experience with modeling, and I can tell you that that is always how you get better results out of an image, and that experience definitely helps me to be able to translate that when I'm behind the camera. So along with the behind the scenes, I just wanted to share with you some of my tips of how to get better photos when you're shooting with models like this that you see here. Now, if you enjoyed this video, if you got some value out of it, drop a like, leave a comment if you like this kind of thing. If you want to see more photo shoot behind the scenes from me in the future, I have definitely been doing less of these as it is a little more difficult to put shoots together, especially when not for commercial purposes based on everything going on, but I will do my best, especially as things calm down in the future. Subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and as always, I will see you on the next one.